Hello, y'all. Gemini. Oh my goodness. Being in your energy, by the way, is the most fun I've had reading for zodiacs thus far. Just so you know, my Gemini gang. This morning I popped on music to get into like the energy for the zodiac that I'm reading for. And your songs had me like bouncing and dancing, and I was making my coffee like, oh, fuck yes, let's get into this Gemini moment. Y'all are in a moment too. And we'll get into it, but first, if I can just take like 2 seconds of your time to do a couple of announcements before we get into the reading. The first announcement is that I am, from this point forward, only going to be reading for the zodiac or doing spirit messages. We are not going to do no contact readings, or we're not going to peek into what the truth is behind this. I think it's actually really important that we stay out of our head and get present with ourselves. And so I think some of y'all, if you've been here for a second, then you know that I have been sort of quarreling with those types of readings anyway. And I decided, I was like, you know what? Whatever. We do what we want, right? Okay, so that's one. The second is I'm going to have a link for my personal Instagram where I am chronicling the last 6 years of my life in which I implemented cognitive behavioral therapy through a toxic relationships, and my pathway through that, the things that I was going through during these journal entries. I have been documenting my life for the last 6 years in journals, and I have 18 fully completed journals and two in the making. Okay, so if you go into the description box under follow me on Instagram, there's the Temporal Taurus option, and then there's also the one labeled It's Crystal Danielle, and that is my personal journey. So there you can kind of like get a little bit more personal with me if you want to get personal with me, okay. All right, Gemini, let's go ahead and move into it. So as I stated, I popped on music this morning, and here are your songs. The first song that came in was I Think I'm Okay, which is MGK and Youngblood. And oh my gosh, like the part that like really resonated with me was that part that it's like, watch me take a good thing and fuck it up, or what is it, and fuck it all up in one night. And but the energy was like, and I don't care. And then the second song was Star by Willow, and it was especially talking about like the parts about the universe, and just sort of like this, different understanding of the world around us. And then the final song was Burn the Witch by Sean James. And you'll have to listen to this song because it is literally like people kind of putting up someone on a stake and burning them for who they are as an individual, right? It's like very reminiscent of the Salem witch trials, or just people ostracizing us because we don't fall in a line with them. And I think this is something, y'all, that y'all are really facing in the month of September. Now, the interesting thing, you are the first group in which, when I was listening to music, your cards for your spirit cards actually came up in my mind and weren't shuffled. So these two cards in particular, the peacock and the starfish, were actually, they came to me, and I was like, okay, I guess I don't think that anything is of coincidence when it comes to certain realms of education or realms of having messages and things delivered to us. And one of the themes, I think, for many of the zodiacs in the month of September is the theme of surrendering. And part of surrendering is really releasing that which we've manifested into the wild, delivering it to God or to the universe, or whatever way you want to slice it. Essentially getting that thought process out of our heads and into a domain in which it can be manifested and brought back to us, right? It cannot do that when it's living rent free in our mind. And so what's interesting is I feel like there is some surrender in this space. And the reason I mentioned surrender in unison to having those cards delivered to me is because recently I actually wrote about the fact that I was essentially surrendering certain aspects of my life to God and certain aspects of my belief system to the universe around me. And I was like, okay, this is yours now. Here's what I want. Here's the trajectory. Here's the goal. I'm going to just be and receive. And whatever comes to me, then I'm going to see that as sort of a creative endeavor or a thing to explore. Elizabeth Gilbert actually spoke about this in the book Big Magic. I think it was Big Magic, where she talks about a thought or an idea taking flight. Okay, actually, I think it was that book because she was writing about an author named Gilbert as well, who had talked about ideas sort of catching wind, and you have to be able to be prepared to catch the idea or it's going to flow into somebody else. And this for y'all is a month, I feel like what you're dealing with though is this surrender to self, more so than it is like a surrender to the things that you want. It's more about, this is who I am, and you don't have to like that. You can feel however you want about it, but I am going to be who I am. I'm going to embrace my path, my story, the things about me that are a part of me. And I think that what is occurring in that space actually is here with this observer card isn't necessarily that you are in the position of observing because you have like the peacock and the starfish, right? I would actually say it is that the antithesis of that. I think there are going to be some eyes on you in the month of September. And one of the things that came up is that, like with some of these songs, is that there are going to be people who are looking at the things that you are doing and they're not going to agree with you. And that is something that I think will be a challenge for you. But ultimately, I think you're like, and so what if they don't like what I'm doing? I'm going to do what I'm doing anyway. Because you have so many cards honoring your authenticity, honoring your happiness. Going back up to the peacock and the starfish here, I think this is a duality. I think there are people who are going to see you in this peacock space. They're going to see you as though you are seeking attention. And what's actually happened is you're just embracing the fact that you're cooler than they are. Sorry. I probably shouldn't have said it that way, but I mean, the Gemini energy is such a good space. Like, I'm here for it. I'm actually a Gemini rising. Gemini is my first house, so I'm I'm grateful that we have a decent read so far. So I mean that's really, I feel like just I think that is the basis of this energy here. I think it's just brass tacks. And I think to some people it's going to seem like a level of self-sabotage, but I think it's more like, actually I'm self-sabotaging when I'm not embracing my own authenticity, when I'm doing what you want me to do, when I'm behaving the way that you want me to do. And I'm not going to attract what I want if I'm living in a space in which I'm restricting who I am. And see, and here we go, like that just, thank you. I was just gravitated right here to this card from the Gabrielle Bernstein, The Universe Has Your Back deck, which says, I honor how I want to feel. Bam! Exactly. That is a whole vibe for you in the month of September. The next message card that you have from that deck is, my happiness is a reflection of my level of faith in the universe. And I think that's something too that's coming through. I feel like September if surrender is not the theme for every zodiac sign, I'm going to be shocked, because I really do feel like surrender is sort of the overarching theme for the zodiacs in the month of September. ultimately, what I think is occurring for you, Gemini, is that you're going to be in a space feeling tranquil, feeling peace, and feeling at ease, and also feeling happy. It's like, it doesn't matter what these other energies think about you and peeking in on you. I would say that as happy as you are, and let me just say that this song right here, the song by MGK and Young Blood, when it was coming out, it was like, oh my gosh, y'all, I was bouncing up and down in my kitchen, making my coffee, dancing around. Like, it put me in the best energy, despite that the words were like, watch me fuck this all up. And it was like, yeah, and like, this is my life to fuck up if I want to, you know? And that's the thing, is that it's not a fuck up. It isn't. It's just you embracing your authenticity regardless of whether or not everyone agrees with that. And there's such a, you know, the thing about Geminis is they have such a duality. My thing is always, every time I see someone that's like, I don't like Geminis, I'm like, well, what did you do? Because a Gemini is a match vibe energy. They're mirrors. They reflect back onto you how they are treated. And I will argue that forever. So if I feel like, I love Geminis. I love Geminis. And so I feel like when someone has a real big issue with a Gemini, I'm often like, you know, going, well, what happened? You know, it's like, I want to know the dynamics of that situation, because I mean, not that Geminis aren't very decisive in what they want and what they don't want, but equally so, they are, they're going to match the energy that is provided to them. And what's interesting too, Gemini, is that I actually think that in the month of September, you're going to be doing less of that. You're going to be doing more of honoring yourself despite the opinions of others. So I feel like this is actually a transitionary space in which you are doing a lot less mirroring, a lot less we gonna match vibes, and a lot more of, how about you match my vibe for a change? And we are here for that. Aren't we, dear Gemini? Okay, hold on one second. I swear. Okay. Sorry. Squirrel. Okay, so what I'm going to do for this reading, I guess I should have explained this in the beginning, I'm sorry, is that the first part of this is actually a reading specifically for you on a message for you that you need to hear. It's all about you. In fact, the majority of these readings, or the meat and potatoes of these readings, is actually going to be focused on your energy and the things that are pertaining to what you have going on, not so much the external influence of those around you. However, following that, we will do a singles read, and then we will do those involved in connections. And what we'll do at the very end is close out your reading with a self-care message. Right now, however, we're going to go ahead and pick the self-care message. This will be actually placed upside down. So we're just going to pop it out right there. This will be placed upside down and set off to the side, and to be read at the end of your reading. Popping right into your personal reading, we're going to utilize the Light Seers Tarot. Oh, there's that Gemini right off the bat, which is actually reminiscent. Of course I saw the star. I didn't even think about that. Or wait, is that Aquarius? Who is a star Gemini or Aquarius? Hang on. It should, I mean, it's very similar energy. Let's be honest. Either way, you are coming up as, what do we have here? Oh, it is Aquarius. My bad. I'm sorry. Although I would actually argue sometimes that those are very similar energies at times. So popping right open to the star card is essentially, again, that space of being like, I'm in my own energy. I'm owning my own energy. This is about me, and I'm honoring myself at that. You have also coming in here some heart chakra with the Ace of Cups being illuminated as well. It's like you, whatever you have going on, you are happy regardless of the opinions of others. Good. Because why don't they just mind their own business? You know? All right. What do we have going on for the month of September for Gemini, please? I just have a feeling, Gemini, I'm going to tell y'all something that I probably shouldn't say, but I have a feeling the energy that follows y'all is Cancer. And I just have this feeling already that's going to be just a totally different vibe. So I am going to milk your energy for all that it is worth. Like I'm going to be very grateful to be in this energy with you. Okay, Gemini. What is the Gemini message, overarching message for the month of September? I have a lot of ideas flowing. You might take a moment to kind of slow down and enjoy life, honestly. Whoa. The King of Cups is like, I want to come out. I don't know, maybe a King of Cups in your energy. This deck. We'll take these since they flew out way over there. And then on the bottom of the deck, you have the Page of Cups and the Two of Swords. I'm actually going to really quick clarify the Five of Wands, because I think that this is, again, like, I just think that this is the energy outside of you. There are people, like, you are just in your own little world, and there are people not really, yeah, look at, so here you have the Ten of Pentacles underneath the Five of Wands. So people could be seeing you building your own abundance, or like expanding. Oh, that was a part in the song Star about expanding horizons, basically, in the Star song by Willow. Sorry, I just got distracted by that thought, which I was actually one thing that I had focused on in that song. So I think this like sort of conflict card over here, or having people come at you, it's really just because, here's the thing, is I just watched this thing the other day on Billie Eilish, right before she won, what was it, 7 Grammys? I think definitely 5 at this one event, right? Right before that happened, she was being like ostracized on the internet as not deserving those Grammys. Like people were booing her and they were saying all these like really negative things about her. And someone recently in one of my readings talked about FUD, which is, what does it mean? But it's essentially when you are in a certain position and people start attacking that. That's actually a good thing, because it means that you are doing something right, or there's something about you that threatens their own authenticity. And so what could be occurring really in the month of September is something in alignment with that, where it's less about, I mean, I'm going to be so silly in this moment, but one of the things that my best friend used to say all the time was, that sounds like a you problem. And really, like, I really do feel, Gemini, that you are in your element in the month of September, and it is their problem. Like, that sounds like a you problem is the best line to put into this space. And so I think that it's like there's these energies that are gonna be coming at you and stuff, and really it's like, okay, underneath it, it's like these energies are like, oh, okay, like that, like when pigs fly, a Gemini will get what they want, and you know, it's very like, or it's just like I mean, it's kind of like not even a combative energy, it's just sort of judgmental. And here you are, and you're just like, you're just like so connected into the universe around you, and so connected into the surrender here with the Fool card, and just like, I mean, and even like slowing the embrace of building your own abundance, and it's knocking people off their trajectory. They don't like it. Oh, well, You know what? I'm really surprised that the Justice card hasn't came out here because it feels sort of karmic. Honestly, it feels like it's your turn to be on, it's your turn to sort of be in the receptive state, the receiving state, the space where you are building upon you and honoring you. And it's about damn time. Bam. So let's get an outcome card for this scenario. What is the outcome for this? Can we do one? Let's do one. One card. Oh, for the love of, look at all those cards. This is why the Light Seers deck sometimes is not my most favorite deck to play with. They all stick together. Ultimately, I think you're going to be looking in, you're going to have your back turned to this situation. But, and you know, part of it too is giving a little bit of out of sight, out of mind. You're not going to necessarily be focused on that. You're going to be focused on your future and building upon that and what you have going on in front of you, not what the opinions of other people are. It's almost like it's almost operating as though this is going on around you and you're not even, you could be even either unaware of it or completely and utterly unbothered by it, which honestly will make people even more upset if you're completely unbothered by it. But I'm really feeling like this is not actually, like this was going to trip them up and it's not going to trip you up. It's not going to be, it really isn't about your energy. It's just about the fact that you are in an energy honoring yourself in September, and that's not okay with other people who cannot honor their own energy. Wah, wah, wah for them, huh? All right. So let's go ahead and move into connection readings. Really quick, I'm actually going to get you a new incense. So something that is, really quick, if we can talk about some ways in which you can support the channel, I would really appreciate. So one of the best ways actually to support me if you are already a subscriber is to like the video and then obviously to comment on it. These two ways really help to build the viewership of the video. And then if you are new here and you're enjoying this reading, I'd love to have you stick around for more readings in the future. So if you can subscribe, that would be amazing. We would certainly love to have you here. Okay, Gemini, let's go ahead and get into those nitty-gritty connection readings. First, we're going to start out with singles. So let's go ahead and see what we have going on for the month of September for Gemini singles. Gemini singles. Okay, Gemini's in the single position. Gemini's Page of Wands, Hermit, Chariot. That's funny. Those two things, like, such a Gemini energy to have polar opposite spaces. Because the Hermit is like, go within, and the Chariot is like, come out. And so funny. It's just cute. Very cute. Okay. What else do we have for Gemini singles? This guy wanted to pop out. The King of Swords wanted to pop out. Somebody could be coming in to communicate something to you. One more for Gemini singles, please. One more. Oh gosh, there's some other kings here. King of Wands, King of Cups, and the Three of Swords came out with this guy. I guess you could be receiving some communication with somebody who sucks. And then you have the Seven of Cups, or you're dealing with more than one person. Underneath that is the two of Wands and the Five of Wands. And underneath that is the Seven of Pentacles here. Like, look at her in this. This is like you here, okay? It's like you are building this abundance, and it is tripping up some other people around you. I'm not going to bring those out. So Gemini singles, you could be in a space of like protecting your own energy. I really don't feel like this Hermit card is necessarily you like isolating, which I would tend to see the Hermit as, but I feel like it's more like you're honoring you. You know, one thing about the Hermit is that the Hermit chooses to go inside. The Hermit goes in and finds the light within, and then brings that lantern back out into the world around them. So you are really in a space of honoring your energy, right? Honoring your own authenticity seems to be such an overarching theme for Geminis in the month of September. And it's like, and you're building this passion upon it as well. You are in the space of forming ideas and creating sort of these passionate endeavors, or even just this relationship that you have with yourself, right? And so, and kind of going and really honoring that. Not so much the Hermit here is like, I'm not going to be influenced by the opinions of others. Okay. Now what's coming in quickly, so there's a couple dualities that are existing in the Gemini space. Coming in quickly could be two different energies. Okay. So there could be some, like someone who's very communicative or who wants to speak to you. And the reason I say multiple energies only is because you have the Seven of Cups here, which is sort of you know, a space of like looking at all of our options. And you could also then have this, this energy here where it's this somebody who's very emotional, very that you would have had a physical connection with or a physical attraction to, that caused you some sense of heartache, coming in as well in the month of September to communicate something to you is a possibility. Let's see, is this the same person? Because this is like a communication card, so it could be like big communication, you know, it could just be not necessarily a player. Is this all the same person? Upright, yes. Reverse, no. Oh, that's a big fat whopping yes. Okay, so one thing that the Gemini singles could be facing is someone... I would argue that this is actually someone from your past who's perhaps even upset about all of this stuff that you have going on. Someone that you have dealt with in previous spaces, right? Oh, let's see. Is this someone from the past? We'll do upright yes, reversal no. Is this a past person coming in for Gemini energy? Yeah, that's a big fat yeah. This is somebody who put you in your head, somebody who really caused you quite a bit of headache. You know, this is a person that causes you an exponential amount of headache. They could actually be coming in with this kind of energy. Ultimately, I think that you're going to protect yourself in this space. So, something about this person is coming into your line of vision in the month of September. I really honestly am not feeling a whole lot of other union cards coming in for Gemini singles in the month of September. I feel like this is more so a time in which you are kind of like building upon what it is that you really want, and honoring yourself in the month of September. And I would argue, if you're like considering any kind of a connection and yet still see yourself as single, you probably actually will resonate more into the second space, in which we'll talk about Geminis within connections. So that is what I have for Gemini singles in the month of September. Something to be cautious of. You may even have own awareness of this already. You could be dealing with somebody from the past already. Oh, let me get my foot is falling asleep. Okay. Now let's go ahead and move into Geminis involved in a connection. This doesn't necessarily have to be relationship. You can be, you just been talking to someone for a while, etc. Gemini is involved in a relationship. I have the Queen of Cups popping right out. Maybe it's something that you are wanting to give more into, or you're feeling some type of way. Hanged Man also popping out. Could be some divine intervention, a moment of pause in which you are learning some things. All right, Gemini is involved in a connection. Let me get into why I just was because I just got this hit of like, there could be people who outside of your connection who don't want you to, that are kind of against it. Seven of Swords in the reverse. And I don't think it's bothering you one bit. Okay. Temperance, the Hermit. There's that Emperor. Hello, Daddy. Sorry. And the Page of Swords as the underbelly of energy here. Interesting. I really do feel, Gemini, that these energies that are around you, if you watched all of the reading and you watched the first half of it and know kind of the theme here, is that there is like people outside of you and all that you have going on kind of peeking in on it. I don't honestly know that you have too much of an awareness of this. I don't think that you really, to be frank, care. I don't think you care about what other people think of your connection or what other people think of what you have going on. It's just not giving that energy. Now, this is something that I feel like this part of honoring what you want, okay, when it comes to connections. The Death card here is like, it's kind of operating like a new beginning in how we see connections. It's also like a new cycle or an ending of a couple dualities here, actually. So the first thing is that we could stop caring what other people think so much. That's one. And then the second is that we are stopping certain patterns of behavior that allow the influence of others to infiltrate our decision making. There is some sense of patience here, but what's interesting is that I feel like for the Gemini energy, it's like what we want and what we're seeking within connections and within this relationship dynamic is for this energy to be to basically take leadership in some way, or to and not even step up. This is the Emperor. They're already the Emperor, so they're already providing in a way that is stable and safe and the way that we want it to be. However, I would say that they aren't super communicative. They're not really expressing certain elements of either how they're feeling or how they're seeing this connection. So I think that the patience here and like what the Gemini energy is waiting for, it's almost a little bit of waiting for sort of minimal energy, I guess, or energy, minimal communication. Thank you. Who is this Emperor person? Let's find out a little bit more about them. Who's the Emperor here? tell us things about the Emperor. Who is this person, please? So we have a, whoa. Oh my gosh. Jeez. Okay, so the Five of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles both fall out. This could be somebody that you perceive as a catch, or that has options. Like, and this could also be the energy that's surrounding you is actually surrounding the Emperor, more or less you. It's like they're peeking in on you because they're interested in what you have going on. Even, you know, some feminine energies love to be in a comparative space, right? And this could be those energies sort of peeking in on you. And I think ultimately this Emperor is communicating with you, but not necessarily in a way that is very transparently out in the open communicating with you. And they could be someone who, at the very least, you view as someone who has the potential to be entertaining other people, or could be in a space of having options available to them. They have something about them that just is, you know, a lot of people's cup of tea. Clarify this Page of Swords. Let's find out more. It's like the communication in this space definitely does need some work. It's just not the best. Okay, let's go ahead and do an outcome within this connection. What is the outcome here? Seven of Pentacles. Again, it's like more work here, but you know, I feel like what that means here is that there will be actually work that is put into this. Eight of Wands, this connection could move a little bit more quickly, or something about this could move very swiftly in the month of September. What's underneath here? Nine of Cups, building abundance. Underneath that is the World, as well as the Ace of Swords, and the King of Wands, and the Six of Wands, and the Sun, and the Empress. Are you serious? Sorry, that was a whole moment. I mean, I feel like that is like so you want the pathway here. Let's explain it. Let's break it down for you, Gemini, because ultimately you're coming out as this person's counterpart. So let's go ahead and move with it. Okay. So this is like, this is you here just working on your, what is that song by Fergie? I've been up in my, just working on my bed. Something, I don't know, but I think it's Glamorous or something like that. Anyway, this is you working on your own cups. And then moving in quickly is this change through communication from someone who's very passionate about you. Here you are as the chosen one on the Six of Wands, somebody recognizing that this is like a positive, you are just like, you emanate light within to this person, and they can't, like, they're like a moth to your flame, right? They're like, look at, this is this is the Emperor. This is so weird right now. And here you are, and you're the bug zapper, right? And he's like, oh, this is, yeah. He's like a moth to a flame, which I think is great. And look at you, and look at the Empress here. She's like, mm-hmm. And I think it is a lot to do, honestly, with this no fucks given vibe. Honestly, it's like, and it's almost like, whether or not this Emperor whether or not the Emperor decides to see you as a counterpart material, you're like, you have an awareness and a knowing that you are. And so it's just really then kind of moving in this space of like, are you like, when you're ready, come and get it. Nah, 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 nah. Right? Yeah. Bam. How about that? How do you like them apples? This reminded me of Good Will Hunting. He's like, I got a number. How do you like them apples? And that's like literally the Gemini vibe, actually. It's like, I got his number. How do you like them apples? He's calling me. How do you like that? Oh, the sassiness of the Gemini energy. All right, y'all. Let's close out this reading. What is your self-care message for the month of September? Community garden. As I sow love into others, I am cherished by them. I accept the responsibility to cultivate relationships in my life like a garden. When a relationship does not bear fruit, I am wise enough to prune it. Yeah, bitch. And that's the thing, is that like you're unbothered and very willing then to focus on building your own authenticity, building upon your own energy, being the light, and not allowing these other space, like these other thoughts, opinions, etc., to influence you. And if they are sort of a thorn in your side or a rotten fruit, you know not to give it attention and not, you know, to cut it off, essentially. Good for you. Good for you, Gemini. It is about damn time. Okay, one message for your closing. I'm gonna, whether this falls out in the reverse or not, I'm gonna read it upright because I did not give you a fair advantage with this deck and didn't move them all to the upright beforehand. So whatever comes out, one message for self-care. This one was like, I want to be here. Page of Wands. Yes, you're getting passionate about yourself. Let's see what is on the bottom of the deck. Temperance. This is like something that you've waited for. This is, you know, the garden thing is really reminiscent of this energy too, because here's the thing, is like you plant a seed in a garden and it takes a while to take root and to bloom, and for the fruit to begin to develop, and all the things that exist within that whole trajectory, and also understanding that without light and without watering it, it won't grow. And this is you sort of like you planted yourself into arguably the mud or the dirt, right? You had a moment and now you're blossoming, and I'm so here for it for you. All right, Gemini, that is your September forecast. I hope this resonates with you. Thank you all so much for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Mwah.